All
to
right.
start recording and all that stuff. So here, okay, yeah, to get that answer, let's see. It's live. We're live. You see that live?
Yep.
All right, cool. So I'm going to make sure that this is working real quick. It's working. Close that window. I've got the Q&A link up. I don't need this open. Awesome. All right, I am optimized for the man Benjamin. All right, so yeah, so we'll just hang out. I wonder if that's me. I don't know. Anyway, what day is it? It's Wednesday.
Yep. Yep.
Remind me, where in the world are you?
Orlando, baby.
Dude, it's hot down there still.
Yeah, Orlando is always warm, mostly, and we're in the northern part, so we're away from Disney and Universal. We used to live down there, but now we're in the northern part where all the cool people are.
You know where? So I spent some time in Orlando. I spent a lot of time in Orlando. Do you know where? You probably don't. Sorry, that's going to be a problem throughout for me.
Yep.
When I'll put this in.
What you gotta do?
Did you grow up down there?
Yeah, I'm from here. Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm like third generation Orlando and Central Florida, and yeah, my family and grandparents are all from here. So,
nice.
So it's a cool place. It's a cool place. It's a lot of people just think about it, from the tourism and theme parks, but it's got a lot to offer. It's growing too.
It does. It was beautiful. I loved it there. I was there for the nuclear power school part of the nuclear power training that I went through.
Ah, okay.
Do you remember when the Navy had a boot camp there?
Well, there was actually where we're building our new house. There was an old Navy Air Force, or not Navy Air Force. There was an old Air Force base, but I think the Navy may have been there too. And
it may have been I don't know. I lived in Air Force housing when I was there.
Okay, yeah. But it may have been the same area. It's like the northern part of Orlando.
I think it is. Yeah.
Maybe. And the nuclear training that you did, there's actually a closed nuclear plant now. It's cold, but it's on the coast. It's actually really close to where Caitlin's mom lives.
That's a plant. That's a not public, but it's a public power. I guess public power plant.
Yeah. Yep.
I was here. I was there in the Navy. The Navy didn't have any nuclear power. They didn't have any nuclear reactors down there. I'll put it that way. They had a school. It was right next to their boot camp. They used to have a boot camp in Orlando, a big training base. And yeah, I was there in 1980. Where were you at in 1986?
I was 4 years old. So I was right here. I was watching TV.
I love it. Probably watching TV. Yeah, man. I was a recently graduated high school guy, and I was in a program at that time. This is before I was in nuclear power. I was in a program at that time to be in the Navy Reserves so that I would have money for college. So I joined the Navy Reserves and had to go to training. The training that I wanted was too long, so I went to the simplest training that you can get in the Navy after boot camp, right? Which is called Apprenticeship Training, which basically teaches you how to tie knots, paint, and fold your clothes.
All right.
Half of the class were people that were coming into the Navy full time, and they went through that school, and then they were going to go to the fleet. So does that make sense? They didn't do very well on the ASVAB tests. And then the other half of that class were people like me that were split trainers that were there for money for college.
Gotcha.
So half of the class was like nap time during class. The other half of the class was stressing out and doing stupid stuff.
Yeah.
The important part was that was the year Top Gun came out.
I see. Okay.
We were strutting around town.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. As a good year to be in the armed forces when Top Gun comes out.
In the Navy specifically, yeah.
The Navy specifically, yeah. That's funny.
It was crazy. And we were there, and most of us were like 18 or 19 years old and clueless. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. How long did you spend in Central Florida?
For that one was like 6 weeks, maybe 5 weeks.
Okay. Yeah.
But then I went back to nuclear power school, and in nuclear power school, I was there for a long time, like a year, almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Year
Yeah.
and a
Yeah.
half. Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people come to Florida for the beaches. You know, we got long, sandy beaches, but in Central Florida, the gems are the lakes and the springs. You know, I grew up on a lake, so I did a lot of water skiing, wakeboarding, stuff like that, and a lot of cool natural springs here. So that's kind of that's what Central Florida's got going on.
Nice. Yeah, there was a beautiful lake there. I took a couple rowboats out, or a scull or something, a couple times, but
Hmm.
most of the vast nuclear power school was intense, dude.
Mm.
Minimum, like 8 hours a day in the classroom where they're gushing, and a minimum of another 4 to 6, at minimum 4 more hours after, if not 6 to 8, in the classroom just studying
Yeah.
and learning that crap. It was intense, dude.
Jeez.
I got to tell that story a lot this weekend at HPA, because one of the things I guess Brendan kind of sells at HPA is to become a certified high performance coach. You know, if you want to be a certified high performance coach, and he talks about his certification a lot.
Hmm.
And so, there we are. And then he segregates us out with a special tag and stuff to make us look, and he points us out, and he has us stand up, and he's like, if you're thinking about it, go ask these guys. And they come and ask you, and it's like, the question is it a real certification? Is it, and so I feel like I need to qualify yes with I went through Navy nuclear power certification.
Mm-hmm.
I was an Intel engineer. I was a trainer for 25 years. I know what certification is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's cool. That's cool. Nice.
So that was fun. But yeah, I said that a lot this week. It's going to be interesting.
And what's Tara got her hands into?
Wow. Everything. Landscape designer, beauty, all that good stuff. But recovering from adrenal fatigue has been her big main focus.
Hmm.
And a lot of people are resonating with her messages as far as living healthy. She calls it living radiantly, the radiant goddess lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And she's got people following her. She's got people embracing her, and all that stuff. It's amazing.
That's cool.
It's just cool to watch it. Oh man. And Caitlin and you, dude, you guys you're killing me. You're killing it. I love it.
Yeah, it's been awesome. Yeah. Mixergy. Got on Mixergy last week. That was cool. That was really cool. Did you see that?
No, I did not see it.
Oh yeah. It was it was about us, but Caitlin was the interviewee. But yeah, man, it was cool being with Andrew Warner, and he's a great interviewer, man. He goes, I've only listened to a few of his podcasts. There's only so much content you can consume, right? So, but he goes deep into stuff, and it's cool because like she would say something, and then he'd stop. He's like, wait, like let's talk more about that. Like you said, Pinterest marketing. Okay, what do you do specifically? And like all this stuff. Yeah, that was cool. That was cool. His awesome. Audience is not like our prime audience for the most part, but it adds credibility. So that's great.
Huge credibility, yeah. And for what you're doing, it adds huge credibility.
Yes.
Right? So I met Andrew at our foundation. Wow. Okay. You know what? Hang on a second. Everybody that's popping on, I see people popping on. I want to say welcome. The webinar hasn't started yet. We haven't started the training yet. Benjamin and I are just catching up, talking about good times and all that good stuff. I'm Clay. The other guy on here is Benjamin. We're gonna get started in a couple minutes. I usually like to wait till a few minutes after 10 to actually get started. But real quick, if you scroll down below, there's like 3 links down there. I'll explain them all once we get started, but one of them is the Q&A link. Go ahead and click that. Let me know who you are, where you're at, what you're working on. What online course do you think you're getting ready to build, or do you have? Just go ahead and pop that in there. But and that lets me know this whole thing's working. You can hear me and all the systems are go. So if you could do that, please do that real quick. And I'll shout out to everybody that does that. All right. So Yeah, I met Andrew Benjamin. I met Andrew in it's freaking 10 o'clock, and we're gonna have to get started here. Dude, I love catching up with you, man. It's fun to just talk.
Yeah, definitely.
But I met him several years ago at our Vegas, at our post foundation party, and he was there, and it was really intimate, and we've stayed kind of connected. And yeah, I'm currently working with him on the Facebook bot technology.
Oh, cool.
That's some interesting stuff. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
All right, guys. It's about 10:01, so let me go ahead and kind of officially get this started here, I guess. First off, I want to welcome you. If you're here, awesome. If you're watching this on replay later, that's cool too. I hope you have a freaking awesome day. I hope you're having an awesome day. I hope life is going great for you and you're freaking fired up and enthused. As is evident by the website, right? Enthused Online Training. That's what they're watching this on Enthusiastically Enthused Online Training, in case Benjamin doesn't know that. But anyway, I'm really excited. I'm fired up for like a multitude of reasons, which I'm going to try my best to share with you guys, and at the same time, not take away too much of Benjamin's time. This is a no sales webinar. What that means is the purpose of this is not to sell you something. As a matter of fact, Benjamin has a awesome free online course that you can go take advantage of. Having said that, I want to come at you straight away. Yes, Benjamin and I make our living on the internet. Okay, so yes, we each have things that you can purchase. There's tons of that stuff and there's tons of that information on our websites, and the directions will point you. But today it's all about adding that value. Okay, so that's what we want to focus on. We're not going to, if you've been through this stuff before, there's usually an arc to this where they give value and then they talk about what they're going to give you when you buy. Yeah, that ain't happening. It's all value. Okay, we're going to come at you straight and hard. Right now, the number one thing I want to suggest is that you look this up and you put it in your calendar. March 9th through 12th next year. March 9th through 12th, Brendan Bouchard's High Performance Academy. I just got back from it yesterday or the day before. I don't remember. In the last couple of days, I just got back. But the bottom line is I've been to 3 of those things now, and they keep getting better. They keep getting more and more amazing. If you don't know who Robin Sharma is, Robin Sharma was go Google him. But that was the guest this week at Brendan's, and it was mind-blowing. What is it? Benjamin asked me to kind of summarize what it is, and it's basically the same thing I do. High performance. You want to get better at what you're doing? Talk to me. Go to this event. It's insane. I cannot tell you how impressed I am. And for those of you that know my background, it takes a little bit to impress me. I am incredibly impressed by what Brendan Bouchard has created and the systems that he has in place, and how effective they are at helping people level up their game, just continuous improvement. All right, having enough said of that, real quick, I want to ask one more time. I see a couple people here. Thank you, Lisa. It's awesome to see you, Ryan. People that are online, if you guys could go down below, there's 3 links down there. I'll explain all those as we go, but one of them is a live Q&A link. Click that, please. Let me know that you're hearing me. Put your name in there, where you're from, what city you're from. I know like Ryan is down in Rome. Lisa's somewhere in California. Really cool. Awesome to see you, CJ, up in Canada. I'm alt-tabbing over and looking at who's popping up and all that good stuff. But let me know this is working real quick with the live Q&A link. And the other thing is leave that open, because when Benjamin gets going, questions are going to pop into your head. And when those questions pop in your head, pop them out there. And then I'll share them at the appropriate time and all that good stuff. Is that everything I need to say right now, Benjamin?
Sounds good.
I think so. Let me introduce the man. What I know about Benjamin is I met him through the foundation, which is an online course about how to build a free lifestyle, basically. It started as software as a service. I think it's changing a little bit because the vast majority of the people that went through that course learned a lot of good stuff, and then they switched it but they didn't build a software business, the vast majority of them. Benjamin and his wife are awesome examples. They monetized her skills, her game at proofreadanywhere.com. And they got free by building an online course. And now he's showing us how to do it. What else, Benjamin? Who are you? Where are you from? Give me all the good detail, all that stuff, man.
Sure thing. Thanks for having me on, Clay. So yeah, Ben, I'm from Orlando. I'm like third generation Central Floridian. My wife and I are both from here. She's born in Georgia, but basically grew up here. And, you know, like Clay said, I did the foundation program. And my background is I'm somebody who never wanted to be an entrepreneur, never wanted to start my own business. I grew up with a couple of parents who had long time corporate careers. And I just kept thinking, hey, you know, I'm going to work a long time in a big company and work my way up and move up the chain. And after about 5 years of struggle and hacking away at it, I realized that I kind of hated this. So that's when I started looking for other solutions. And every time I would look at another job application, it looked like I was subscribing to another prison, another cubicle prison. So I was like, this is not going to work.
Amen.
Yeah. So I began searching around, listening to different podcasts, doing some online research, and that's when I found the foundation program. And really what unlocked things for me was that, you could build a business and have it online based and actually create a lifestyle that goes along with that you actually enjoy. You know, you don't have to, if you have a business, you don't have to be working 18 hours a day every single day for the rest of your life. It doesn't have to be that way. It can be that way if you make it that way, but it doesn't have to. And so for me, that was like the stepping stone to for me to realize that this is what I wanted. So that's how I got my start.
I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, guys, real quick. You saw the bullets, you saw the headlines. I'm going to flip over here. Let's see what's going on. Cian, Donna, it's good to see you, Donna. It's awesome to see you again, Katie. Randy, it's awesome that you're on here. Joe, I'm freaking stoked. Awesome. All right, cool. All right, real quick question. Off the top, what's the big question? What was it when you wanted the people to know, like, do you have an online course now? What do you want to build an online course in? What were the other starting questions?
Yeah, sure. Has anybody out there considered making an online course, selling one, building one? And if so, what's held you back up to this point?
What stopped you? That's the mojo, man. If you can get through what stopped you, and that's, you know, I feel guilty, but it's like, I know this is valuable. Brendan put some stuff out this week that was so poignant, and I don't know, I think it's because I'm in a different place, but he's like this. Actually, I don't think he actually said this. Basically, we all teach these frameworks, how to deal with stuff, how to deal with a negative person, how to build an online course, how to do whatever, these frameworks. And they're there. This knowledge is there. It's not like we made this stuff up. It's sitting on the internet. The successful people are the ones, Benjamin, that I've found that when they hit that wall, they have patterns set up that they stop, they go find the appropriate framework, and they get over the wall. Mm-hmm. It's like knowing when to apply it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
yeah.
so ask the questions.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Everybody gets stuck, right? Like, you know, getting stuck is not something that's unique to you. It's something that everybody experiences, but what makes the difference is how you overcome that, you know, pushing through and getting over that wall.
Amen. Amen. All right, so let's get going, Benjamin.
Yeah.
What are you going to share? You're going to teach us how to build an online course, and which is awesome because I've got a couple out there, but I know that I need to make them better.
Sure thing. So let me give you a little bit of background of what we're talking about here in our story. So let me give you a snapshot of where we are today. So right now, my wife and I, we run something called proofreadanywhere.com, and that is an online course to teach people how to make extra cash as proofreaders from anywhere in the world, specifically proofreading legal transcripts. And if you don't know what all that means, that's okay. But it is something that my wife did as a freelancer, and then we transformed that into an online course. And as of today, about 6 months ago this year, we crossed the 7-figure mark in revenue. So we made over $1 million in sales, which is huge for us. It's amazing. If that sounds amazing to you, it's equally amazing to us. And that's incredible. And generally the course is generating between $50 and $75,000 a month for us. Sometimes on a good month, it can be over 100,000. So
I
that,
did not
that
know. I did not know that, man. I'm sorry. I'm gonna grab my stool. I didn't know it was. Are you serious,
I'm serious.
dude?
I'm serious. It's been,
Congratulations, Ninja Benjamin. Yes.
thank you, dude. And it's been a wild ride. So that's a snapshot of where we're at today and how things are going. It's going great. And in addition to Proofread Anywhere, we've also partnered up with a couple of other people that sell. We're already selling a training program. One is based on transcription. There's another one that's based on scoping, and they're both in the legal services field. And we actually partnered with them and are doing a revenue share deal where we're handling their marketing. We redid their website because it was like really bad. And so that's also generating some revenue too. And those are steadily starting to grow, but those are newer. So, you know, once you have success in a certain field, it just kind of shows you what's possible. You can partner up with other people and make those sort of things happen. But let me take it back to where, so how do we get here, right? So every time at lunch break when I was in my corporate job, somebody would ask me, so what does your wife do? And I told her, well, she worked at home on her iPad on the couch, and she made more money than me part-time proofreading these legal transcripts. And just give you a little bit of background. So when you're watching like Law and Order, or you know, in a courtroom in a movie or whatever, and you see those court reporters that are doing the steno, they have this transcript of their, you know, their language, and that gets translated into English. And that English thing, it has to be proofread by a person, by a real person. It technically doesn't have to be, but it should be. And so Caitlin, that was something that Caitlin learned in her former job, and then she got really good at it, and she got paid per page. And everybody would, after I told them what she did, you know, a lot of people who, when you work in an office, some of you can probably know what this is like. You know, a lot of people just don't want to be there. You know, some people love it. Some people love the corporate world, and that's great. But then there's a lot of people who don't. And so the idea of working from home sounded like a dream come true. So like, oh man, I need to do that. You know, teach me how to do that. And so what Caitlin would do, my wife, is that she would actually teach people for free, mind you. You know, we just like, hey, yeah, sure, you know, and they would come over and learn a little bit of something, and she'd teach them for an hour, a couple hours, whatever, and then they go on their way and maybe get like a client for a few weeks and then kind of fizzle out. So they would learn something, but because they weren't putting any money down, they weren't really invested, it would just kind of fizzle out and nothing would really come of it. So after going through the foundation and realizing where the, you know, putting on your green glasses and seeing where money-making opportunities are and where you can add value and make some money, I thought, hey, you know, people want to learn this. And so that was my initial trigger to realize that people want to learn this skill. They really want to do this. Why don't we actually monetize this thing? And so that's exactly what we did. And so first it started out with just a simple ebook. You know, this is something that Caitlin was able to create. Okay, so I'm going to take on my skills, I'm going to make an ebook, and I'm going to sell it on Amazon. And that's what we did. And we ended up selling like 17 of those things. But it wasn't quite enough. You know, there's only so much you can put in an ebook. And it was kind of like an MVP, you know, minimum viable product sort of thing. And so after that, then we realized that people were making all these things called online courses, and we learned about Udemy, and you can do screencasts and use Camtasia, and so this is something that you know, Caitlin was the creator of this stuff. So she learned these skills, she learned how to use the software, and then and took her skills and made an online course. And at the time that we made this thing, and this was we launched it officially in February of 2015, so just about a year and a half ago. We had 220 people on our email list, 220. And so it's, you know, not a huge email list. And the day of launching, we launched the course and we made $1,900. So people bought, and for me, that was more money than I had made on any paycheck ever. So that was huge. That was a big milestone. And in that first week, we made a little over $4,000. And so that was like our introduction. And I think what really we prepped people, and so how do we make those initial sales? Is that we prep people for why they wanted to do those initial emails were a lot of people, some people that we knew from a personal network. It was just kind of like we were scraping by, seeing how to get people to opt into our list and who were interested. You know, we didn't really know what we were doing exactly. So anyway, that's how it all started. And I'd love to know, like, from the audience, is this giving anybody, is this kind of like making the gears turn in anybody's head of like what you could do?
Okay, so when we ask questions, there's like a 45-second delay or so before it actually is heard. So, then they're gonna like think about it and throw it back at us. But there are a couple questions popping up, obviously, like, but I know it's stuff that you're gonna cover. You know, how did you know that they'd buy it? How, you know, all that kind of thing. There's a couple questions there. Yeah, that, you know, it's basic stuff I know you're already gonna cover, Benjamin. So like,
Sure.
dude, this is amazing. Yeah,
Sure.
I did not know it was that. No, it was that good, brother.
Yeah.
It was good. And it was that good.
Yeah. And originally, you know, it was just like we didn't know what we were doing. We were just taking action, right? So
one of my favorite little pictures that I'll post up is a picture of a stairway, and somebody's written on the stairway, "You don't have to see the top to take the first step."
Yep.
We don't know where it's going to end.
Yep.
I have no idea where my last step is going to be. None.
Yep. Exactly.
Job said it. You can't connect the dots looking forward. So
Exactly.
go. All right. Cool. All right.
At the end of my talk, I'm going to share with you what I believe to be the best way to get started. You know, the bare bones way to get started if you want to like actually make this happen. And before I go over those steps, there's some other things I wanted to cover. And first, I want to talk about, you know, why, like, what's so good about an online course? Like, there's so many things you could sell, but what makes an online course so good? And there's a couple reasons that do make it really good. One is you got really high profit margins, right? So I have some other friends, you know, a lot of our friends are in doing online business, entrepreneurship type of stuff. And some people are selling physical products. Some people are selling other things. But with online courses, your overhead is really low. You know, the cost of the software to build this stuff is not that bad. And, you know, if you've got people opting into your list, your profit margins really, so we generally keep around 85 to 90% of what we make. And from a purely business standpoint, that's really incredible, because most businesses can't say that. They've got all sorts of overhead. They've got to rent a building, or they've got to buy physical products, or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
So
totally. They got to print books, or they've got to, you know, it depends on what you're selling, right? But yeah, the online course is, once you've created that content, you've got it hosted.
Yep.
There's a little bit of software there, but
expenses are low. Expenses are low. And number two, it's scalable. So if you're selling a service like coaching or marketing services, consulting services, something like that, if you're always trading time for money in some aspect, then you're ultimately limited as to how much you can produce and how much you can earn. I mean, yes, there are some people that can make $10,000 an hour or more, and that, hey, that's awesome. You know, shoot for the moon. As your skills grow, you can command a higher fee, but it can take a while to get there. So creating an asset like an online course just simply allows you to scale. Now, this course is, and just to let you know, it's a self-paced course. So when people enroll, they're taking this course that Caitlin's outlined and she's laid out and built, and it's completely self-paced. She's active in a private Facebook group for members, and so she provides value there and help. But it's not something that she has to, you know, host a class, you know, each and every day or something like that. So it allows her to take her hands off people, to go at her own pace, and so it allows you to scale up. So that's reason number two. Third one is that they're generally easy to build. They're not super complex. So I mean, in comparison to software, if you're going to build software or something like that. So online courses, it does take work. It's not like, you know, hey, I'm going to build one in like 2 days and, you know, it's going to be amazing. You know, it takes work and commitment to make it really good, and you're always improving it. But generally, relatively speaking, they're really not complex.
Not much. Yeah, it's like, I'm feeling you. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm liking like the scaling. Like, my primary revenue right now is through coaching. And what Benjamin said, you're nailing me hard. Like, I'm not cheap, but it's still limited by my time. It does. I feel it pretty hard, to be honest with you. be real. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I have a couple, like if I have a day, because of HPA last week, I had a day where I had 7 client meetings back to back. That was a day.
Yep.
It was a day. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
That's a day.
Yeah.
That's a day. Okay. So what else are we going to talk about here? Now, one thing that's been really, really good for us is that we had a really clear, unique selling proposition.
Yeah.
And I'm going to, is it okay if I share my screen real quickly?
Sure.
Okay. So I'm going to do that real quick. I'm going to go to proofreadanywhere.com. I just want to show people the home page. So one thing that's going to, I'm a big believer in making sure that that you have a really clear, unique selling proposition as to what you're selling. Otherwise, it's just like, hey, I've got an online course about this. Well, how many other people have got online courses, right? So if you're watching, you can share my screen. I'm just going to go to Proofread Anywhere right here. And you can see right on the main page, we help proofreaders earn extra income from anywhere in the world, even if you're starting from scratch. And so who are we talking to? We're talking to proofreaders or somebody who wants to be a proofreader. And what are we helping them to do? Earn extra income from anywhere. And even if they're, starting from basically nothing. So that immediately locks people in, and it repels somebody who's not a fit. But for those who are a fit, it invites them to engage.
There is so much, Benjamin, with what you just shared. Like there's so much right there, guys. I just want to take a pause. And I also don't want to take up any time because it's almost 10:30 already. But understanding what the value that you are providing is the first part of that. Understanding the value that your clients are receiving is the second part of that. Being able to communicate that clearly and as beautifully as proofreadanywhere.com is doing, that's the next one. But it's like there's a lot going into what Benjamin's just now laid out. That's
it's key.
Yeah.
It's key. And so here's something I wanted to provide to everybody, and this is a formula that we use for Proofread Anywhere. And it's crafting a unique selling proposition. It can be tough, and you could spend days, and you can always tweak it. But here's a formula that I use. I'm just going to read it out to you. I can read it twice if somebody misses it, but here it goes. I help this group of people. That's in parentheses. I help this group of people do or get this benefit. Better, cheaper, faster, easier. Even if worst case believable scenario. And so I'll read that one more time. So I help this group of people do or get this benefit, and you have to fill in this benefit. And I'll tell you the parts that you need to fill in. You're going to get this benefit better, cheaper, faster, easier, even in the worst case believable scenario. So the things you're going to have to answer. If you want to build a course, that's like the beginning step that you got to start thinking about is, what group of people are you going to be helping specifically? Not just people, but are you helping moms who are in their 40s? Are you helping, are you helping college students? Who are you helping? So identify those people. What specific benefit are you going to help them get with their course? What's the result here? Are they going to be, with Proofread Anywhere, we're helping people earn extra money. Like that's our, Caitlin was earning basically a full-time income proofreading, but ultimately that's not what we sell, because we actually realized that most people just want to make some extra money. They just want to be able to contribute to the household. So many of our primary customers are stay-at-home moms, and their husbands are working, but they're staying home with the kids, and they just want to earn some extra cash. They want to earn, $500, $600 a month just to, buy the groceries and diapers and all that other stuff, and that's great.
So one of the things, jump in real quick right there. You're not telling them that you're going to teach them to proofread. You're telling them that you're going to help them earn money after they learn how to proofread.
Yep.
What's the benefit, I guess is my point. What's the benefit? Like, great, I learned how to proofread. Right? It's like, so what?
Yep.
What does that really mean? That really means I can generate income. I can make more money. I can have income if I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Yep. And so there's one other aspect to that formula here is better, cheaper, faster, easier, whatever it is, because you may be thinking, you know, a lot of people, something that holds a lot of people back is like, well, I want to make a course, but there's already one that exists, you know, like, or so-and-so is already doing it, whatever. Okay, so what? What makes you unique? You know, can you get the results faster than so-and-so can, or can you deliver the course better? Or is it cheaper? You know, maybe you have a lower price product that just delivers a certain portion of it. So there's always ways you can distinguish yourself.
Totally. I'm scribbling notes as we're doing this. I'm sorry. It's like,
Yeah, no problem.
oh wow, I need to fix that.
And last part of that formula was worst case believable scenario. So you're always going to have people, some people are going to be perfect fit and they're going to want to buy immediately. Yes, that's for me. And then other people are going to be like hesitant and doubting and wondering whether this is right for them. And this is where you want to highlight the worst case believable scenario. You know, I'll help you start a marketing consulting business, even if you've never consulted before, you know, something like that. And so with proofreaders, like even if you're starting from scratch, even if you haven't earned money proofreading before, we'll walk you through that process.
Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Real quick, down below, there's 3 links. One's to Benjamin's site. The other one is to sign up for more of this, because I did post this everywhere, just straight to this link. If you want to be included in future enthused training, that's the other link. But the important one is the Q&A link. So if you've got questions, get them in there. All right, Benjamin, let's do this. Like, actually, let me. Are you ready? Thinking about a question? Maybe you want a question, or do you want to keep going?
No, we can. I mean, you can take a temperature check from the audience if you want, but
I'm watching. Yep. I'm watching. They're bouncing in stuff, saying great stuff. Thank you. Cool. Things like, how do I know if it's going to sell? Like I said, I've seen that a couple times pop up now, but I'm pretty sure we're going to cover that, right?
Yeah, yeah, I'll talk about that. Well,
Okay.
we can talk about that right now. Let's talk about that right now. So, I mean, that's a big question. So, how do you know if it's going to sell? Because you don't want to invest a lot of time building something, and then it comes to like nobody buys, right?
Right.
So here's my. I'll go right into it. So here's my bare bones way to get started. So if you think you want to build an online course, here's how I go about doing it. First, identify your skill, your expertise that you want to sell, that you want to transfer into a course format, and identify your target customers. Basically, go through that exercise of creating your unique selling proposition, right? You know, who are you helping? What are you helping them get? How are you going to do that? Once you work that out and have answered some of those questions, and some of them may not be so clear, but answer them to the best of your ability, then make your minimum viable product course. And there's a couple of, the plugins that we use basically for our courses, our websites are hosted on WordPress, and we use a couple of plugins to build our courses. And one is called WP Courseware. That's how we actually build the course. And there's another one called MemberPress. And those plugins allow people to buy the course and become members of Proofread Anywhere. On this webinar, we're not going to get into all the technicalities of that, because I don't think that's the best way to start people off from scratch. If you want to go get those and start building something, you can. What I'd recommend doing first is how could you create the quickest and simplest way, just a basic course. And maybe it's just some PDF sheets or some kind of Word doc. You create something, you sketch out something, and then tap into your personal network, tap into Facebook, tap into LinkedIn. Who do you know that would benefit from this? So let's say that you want to, I've seen a course on, training cats how to use the toilet in a bathroom, right? So courses like that exist, you know? Hey Clay,
I was excited. It's like, that's a real thing.
Yeah, it's a real thing, right? So let's say that that's the course that you want to make. There's got to be somebody in your personal network that'll be willing to pay you to learn that process, right? And so your goal is to get a couple of people, even if it's just one, but ideally like 2 to 6 people that would opt in, that would, yes, that's what you want. I'm willing to pay to learn how to do this thing. Then you take those people. So that's like step 2, right? Step 1.
Yeah, we got to pause there for a second.
Yeah,
that's kind of important. That's kind of really, 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 really important. Like,
yes. Yep.
Could I get an amen? It's really important. Again, like another really on top of that. Yes, I can.
Yep.
So many people, I've talked to so many people. This is one of the things I help people with a lot. And that is you've got to get to that point where you can ask for it and receive validation. That is validation. 100 of your friends saying, yeah, I'd pay for that. I would pay for that. That's not validation.
Yep.
One saying, here's the money. That's validation.
Yep.
That's so important.
Yep.
Okay.
So
Right.
yeah, and if you have trouble with that, if you can't find a single person, it may be, that's kind of like a red flag, right? It's like maybe this is, you just need to step back. It doesn't mean that you can't do it, but maybe you need to work on your messaging. Maybe you're not identifying the right people in terms of what you're selling here in this course that you want to create. So it's all really circumstantial, right? But that's where you'd start, and that's how you know if people are buy. Because hey, if you can get at least one or two people to give you something, even if it's for a very low price, because it's like just a basic thing, hey, that's your validation. That's how you know people will buy it. Once you get those people, then
I want to jump on that one too, Benjamin. He's so right. It's like my game is in the head. And Benjamin is coming from a background like mine. My family was in corporate, factory, whatever you want to look at it. They weren't entrepreneurs. And I've learned a lot. That's what I've done. I've studied and I've gotten into the brain. And I myself will cause problems to keep people from buying this so that I don't get it validated because of the stuff that's going on in your head. So just because somebody's not buying doesn't mean it's a bad idea. We're not saying that, because like Benjamin said, there's people paying for cat poop training. there's people that pay. I'm seeing the ceiling fan spin. There's probably a class on an awesome, effective way to clean ceiling fans, and people pay for it. There's got to be, right? So your idea is not probably bad. It just is in the communication. It's in the presentation. It's in the audience. There's 1,000 things it could be. Well, probably not 1,000, actually. There's probably a very few. But yeah, don't give up on your idea and your ambition just because it's not quick and easy.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. You know, a lot of thing, Clay, that stops people up too is they think, well, I'm pretty good at this, but I'm not a grade A expert. You know, I'm not making millions of dollars doing such and such. Hey, that's okay. You know, ultimately, if you're going to be teaching somebody something, you've got to be good, right? You can't like say, hey, I'm going to make an online course about surfing, but I've never surfed in my life. Don't do that. But if you're not best in the world, that's okay. You know, there's only a few best in the world, but there's people. Sometimes the best way to learn something from somebody is somebody who's like 2 or 3 steps ahead of you, right? That's something we learned in the foundation. I think that's really true. I usually get a lot of value for somebody who's like just out of reach of me, because I can implement really easy stuff to like get to their level, as opposed to like, you know, learning from Mark Zuckerberg or, you know, some icon.
Totally. I agree 100% with everything you're saying, Benjamin. It's like one of the greatest realizations of my life was I never felt like I was something special, right? Like, you know, yeah, I can do this skill, whatever it is, really well, but that's nothing. That's normal, right? But no, there are people that suck at what you're okay at, and they want to get as good as you are, I guess is another way to say basically the same thing you just said. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yep. So okay,
So
once you get your few people, right, you take them through your course, and by course we're talking about, hey, send them the PDFs and have a weekly call with them, or every 2 weeks, and say, hey guys, so I'm going to teach you how to you know, train cats how to poop in the toilet. So let's go from week 1. This is where you start, and then you check back in with them week 2, like where are they at? Once those people start getting results, then you know you're ready to build. You know, then you can actually start saying, hey, okay, I actually have got a student that's getting these results. We got it in this much time. Okay, let's start fleshing it out. Now you can really start getting the website, building the big course, and ramping things up. But you got to start there.
Please notice we are just finally starting to talk about thinking about getting the website. That's not step one. Naming it, getting the website domain, not getting a business card printed, not step one.
Yep. Yep. And in the once you get to that building stage, then there's a lot. Then there's really a lot. It depends on where you want to take this. There's some people selling courses that really just have like a landing page, and they get all of their traffic through other kind of affiliates that send them courses. We know somebody who does that. We, on the other hand, we treat the online course as our business. So we've got a full website, we've got a blog, we produce content, we have an email list, and so there's a lot that goes into it. So we treat it like a full business. So it kind of depends on, once you get to that stage, you kind of really have to think about where you want to take this. Do you just want to create a course and see if you can get other affiliates to sell it, like on ClickBank or something like that? In our course, we're in the kind of the work at home world for proofreading, and so we do have a lot of affiliates that we work with. However, now we generate a lot of our own traffic too. So you just got to think where you want to take it.
The warning, I guess, the question is for you right now, whoever you are watching this, Joe, Ryan, Randy, whoever it is that's watching this right now, where are you at? Like, are you at that point where you need to build that MVP, minimum viable product or minimum viable course? Or are you at the point where Benjamin's talking about deciding whether you scale this way or that way? So if you're not out here, if you're not up here, don't stress this stuff. It's not hard. It is not anywhere near as complex as it might sound if you're still going, I think I might buy an online course. I might build an online course. Okay, so again, take the first steps. Don't stress the top of the staircase. People like me and people like Benjamin and his wife and millions of others have done this before. So it's not that tough. Okay.
Yep. Hey, Clay, I think you muted yourself.
I did mute myself. I'm sorry about that.
No worries.
So we're at the point now where we're scaling, deciding which way to scale, it sounds like.
Yeah. I can talk more about that. You want me to go into some of that about kind of how we built the business up now?
Let's see. I've got no new questions in the last 5 minutes or so that I'm aware of. Maybe, 5 or so. And basically, a couple of the questions were, let's talk about it. How do I know if I can do this? How do I know if I'm good enough to do this? Is one of the questions. So it's like, and I'm no names. And I think we kind of covered that, right? It's like there's Bruce Lee. That's not the only place that you can go learn karate, which, by the way, he's passed on. But I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's not the only martial arts school in the world. And there's a belt graduation process, right? At least that's the first thing that jumps into my head. But
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I totally agree. Yeah, I mean, the first answer is always yes. Are you good enough? Yes. It's always yes. And then the more specific answer is, when you get more specific as to, do I have an idea to build an online course that's good enough? Well, that's a process. If you don't know that answer, then you got to find more information, right? You gotta create that MVP and go see if somebody's willing to give you money for it. Right, so you need more information. You're never going to be able to figure that out. You can't think your way to the answer to that question. So
I like what you just said. That was good.
Yeah.
That was gold. Don't. And from my perspective, from a performance perspective, or from a mental perspective, from a mindset perspective, what he just said was so gold. Don't waste your mental energy trying to answer questions that you can't answer. There's a process. Find out. Test it. That will answer your question.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I love it.
Yep.
I love it. So, and then, okay, yes, there's a couple people that are asking this that I think it's the same similar question. And by the way, if I'm interpreting your question wrong, and I think that, well, there's a couple people out there that have asked a couple questions. If I'm interpreting one of these questions wrong, just ping in that Q&A link, get me to clarify it, or ask any questions you have. But one of them, it kind of like boils down to what's the lifestyle like? Like, how do I, you mentioned it briefly about corporate work, and then you talked about 18-hour days, and how do I know if this is right for me? I guess what is your answer to that question?
Whether, and is the question, how do I know whether online business is right for me or doing this online course thing at all?
I'm thinking online course because we're talking about online. Like they're obviously interested in something in online business, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Course.
I can
Course.
only
Course.
I know whether courses, yeah. If you know what excites you, I guess, you know, there's all sorts of ways to make your living online, right? You know, pick one and go with it. If you're kind of like blah, like online courses, like what, you know, you'd rather like sell something else. You'd rather like sell a physical product, go do that. So it's like, if it excites you, the basic answer is like, does it excite you? You know, do you think you have an online course to build? And if yes, go explore it. You know, do those steps that I outlined here and go see if it's a possibility for you.
Awesome.
Does it excite you?
Yeah, I like that. Does it excite you? And but you know, like a lot of people, and I've talked to I told Benjamin about this right before we started. One of the things about going to these events with Brendan Bouchard is a lot of people are thinking they might want to be a certified high performance coach. So I get that question a lot. It's like they start asking, what's it really like? What's it really like? So there's, and they come to us and they ask us. And so that's another thing you can do. Like find out, like ask the questions. Go find people that are successful, like Benjamin and his wife, Caitlin, at building an online course. It doesn't matter if you're a proofreader or not, just they built an online course, right? So you can talk to them and find out if that lifestyle, like, okay, how many hours a day do you work? What do you really do every day, kind of thing, you know? And where is your focus and where's your energy going and all that stuff? Ask those questions, and it may not be right for you. Like, it may not. You may want to become a coach. You may want to become an Amazon seller, which is, I think, or eBay or whatever. That's the physical product stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Amazon. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But the point is, go. My thing is, go. Help people go. Awesome. So, okay, Benjamin, how do we? What else you got? I know that you've mentioned it, and I haven't really investigated it. I'm excited to hear about it. The 7-day free. Another way, I guess, to find out if it's right for you.
Oh, sure. Yeah. What we can do if you're interested, we do offer a 7-day intro course at theworkanywherelife.com. Just go to workanywherelife.com. You see on the main page our offer. It's totally free. You can enter. It's an email-based course. Over the next 7 days, we'll give you some of our lessons. Some of it I've covered here. I've actually given you some details that aren't in that course. So there's some unique stuff here today that you won't get there. But that should give you a basic idea of if this is right for you. And
Awesome.
I thought, Clay, one other thing I could do is I usually think it helps people if they can kind of see what it is that we're building. So I thought I could do one more screen share and show them like the back end of the course.
Sure.
Does that sound good?
Sure.
So
Real
what I'm
quick,
going to do? Yeah.
while you're doing that, real quick, guys, down below one of those links, if you read through it. So go ahead and go do that, Benjamin. Go ahead, screen share, set that up. The one of those links down below, though, guys, is is a link to work anywhere. Is it workanywhere.com?
Theworkanywherelife.com.
So theworkanywherelife.com. But one of those links down below is that.
Yep.
So what you got for us? It drives me.
So, all right. So can you see my screen? Have I got you, Clay?
Yes, I'm sorry, I muted myself again. I could see like WordPress site.
All right, yeah, the back end WordPress. So I just wanted to show you guys because some people just don't know, like, what do you mean online course? Like, what what are you building here? So here's what I want to show you. These are the two plugins that I mentioned. One is MemberPress, and you can see here. And so when somebody buys our program, and I'm actually showing. Oh,
hit Control Plus and maybe zoom in a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Let me do that. that better?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, all right. So it's a little bit squeezed, but just so people understand. So let me expand my screen here. Boom. Yeah, so the two plugins here, you can see MemberPress. And when somebody buys, I'm actually showing you the back end of the Work Anywhere Life right now. But when somebody buys a program, whether it is Proofread Anywhere or whatever it is, they will become a member of our website. And then this is actually, let me go to the training courses. I'm kind of jumping around here. But they're actually built on, it's almost like a blog post. So when you, so here's the Monetize Our Genius program. So this is actually the course that we offer, the Work Anywhere Life. And when you go to modules, units, and quiz ordering, this actually shows you everything that's laid out. So all these things here, this is what Caitlin and I have made that actually walks people through our whole program and strategy. And you can even just click on one of these, and you know, creating courses as simple as making a blog post. You know, some of these lessons are text-based, some of them are video-based, but you just create it right in here in WordPress. So, and WordPress is the most common platform for websites these days. Anyway, I hope that gives people a little bit of just kind of showing you what it's all about here.
I hope. At the same time, it shows them that. I hope it doesn't overwhelm them.
Yeah,
Like
I realize it's a little bit much. So
yeah, everybody's in a different place. So it's like, if that was overwhelming, don't stress it. It's not that tough. If it and there's so many options and ways to do it. And if it's not overwhelming, then you just saw how simple it really is. If you've got a WordPress blog and all that good stuff. Honestly, a lot of my clients, like a significant percentage of my clients right now, are heading toward this space where they're going to be releasing online courses on their websites and stuff. So it's exciting.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Definitely look forward to pointing
Now
them towards you because I'm going to be honest, guys. I know this is like a no sales webinar, and I'm going to wrap this up. We're going to wrap this up in a second here, but I can't be honest with him, Benjamin.
Yeah, of course.
I told him this before we started. I'm shocked at how little he's charging for what he's offering, based on who I know he is and how he works. I'm shocked, and I'm kind of trying to coach him a little bit to charge more. To be honest with you, like some underhanded coaching going on there. But yeah, he's these guys are Benjamin and Caitlin are the real deal, and they freaking I love them. We met. It was a good time. We met and we chatted and we got to know each other a little bit, and I'm blown away by what they offer in their course. I know I'm not supposed to be selling it, and I'm trying my best not to, but just that 7-day course is probably going to provide you more value than not. I'll put it that way. I know it's going to provide you more value than not, but it's going to blow you away.
Yeah. And by the way, we answer our emails. So that course, that free course is email based. I'm here. Hey, we ask you to respond. Tell us what you're thinking. You can always get in touch with me that way.
Awesome. I want to shout out one more time with that as well. I don't know. I'm not going to offer this for Benjamin, but for me, I help people with clarity, energy, productivity, courage, and influence. I help people hone themselves so that they can step into who they want to be. That's what I do. And to boil that down, it comes down to high performance. It comes down to you being your best and performing your best. I enthuse, enable, and empower. This specific hour or so has been an empowering session in my mind, because it's showing you a specific skill, a specific thing that you can go out and do. For example, now I don't want to get into it. Bottom line is, that's what I do. So if you have any questions about how to do what you're doing better, I'm the guy. Don't be afraid to email me and all that stuff. On the other hand, if you want to get deep into courses and you have questions about the lifestyle and all that, Benjamin, can they just zap you an email?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you can also email me directly. Yeah, it's ben@theworkanywherelife.com.
Awesome. Anything else that you want to share right now? Anything else that you want to give away? Anything else you want to throw out there? before we wrap
I'm
this up?
good. I've covered everything here, unless there's any other questions we didn't answer. I think we're good.
We've gotten them. You know what? Let's hang out for a minute. And well, I've got to go because I've got another meeting in a few minutes. Oh, busy life. But yeah, I think we should. I'm gonna like hang out and let people. If you guys have any more questions, like how much does? Here's a question just popped in my head.
Yeah.
How much is your overhead? What does that software cost, for example? Like
It kind of depends on how bare bones you want to get. I mean, like for example, a website hosting with HostGator or something like that. We're talking like, like what, like $20 a year or something like that. Like really, it's really cheap. And then the plugins that we use to actually build the course, they're one-time cost. They're not monthly. And I can't remember. I think MemberPress is like about $100. And WP courseware is less than that. So those are one-time costs. And those are the basic components. And then we have some other stuff, when it comes to like, list building and things like that. And then you've got your list, like, MailChimp. We use GetResponse. And that of course increases the more people you've got on your list. So
those start at like $10 a month, maybe, right? Like the low.
Yeah, MailChimp's actually free to start. So a lot of people start there. But most of them are pretty affordable. Like, I mean, if you're starting from scratch, I mean, most of them are like what, like $10 a month, $15 a month, I think at most, for a lot of the big ones. So yeah, it's not much.
How about, let me, how pricing your course? How do I price my course?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Starting out, how do you, so there's, I'll jump here. The MVP. Well, no. I'm just going to throw it at you. Yeah, pricing my course. How do I know how to charge for my course?
Yeah, what kind of value does it bring? That's always the question, right? What kind of value are you providing to the people that that are going to be buying it? It depends on the product. If you're selling the cat training, like we told about, probably lower. If you're selling, with Proof It Anywhere, it's a big system to teach people how to start making a whole new living. So we charge more. That runs. We're selling Proof It Anywhere, the basic package, for $897. And then they can actually. And here's a way. Here's a little tip. When you've got your course made, you can sell an additional package for private coaching with you, right? So $897 is the basic price, but then if they can come in at like $1,200 to $1,300, and then they get a couple of private sessions with Caitlin to help them move forward. So that's a way you can essentially maximize your profit and give even more value to those who are like ultra committed.
So this is another one of those areas where I jump in and help people a lot too. And people, and like I said, when I saw what Benjamin was charging for what he's offering, I was like, dude, too little, because it's life changing. What he said though is, let me try and tie it up. Two things. The first response out of his mouth was, what value are you giving? So if you're, I just saw, I don't know if you saw it or not, but I just saw today Elon Musk talking about colonizing Mars. I mean, he put something out yesterday or the day before, a big presentation about it. And it's like, so if you're training an astronaut to go to Mars, you're providing a lot of value. You know what I'm saying? If you're training somebody how to be an astronaut or how to change the world, like, I don't know, you're training somebody how to be elected president, which I'm sure all of us could probably train somebody how to be elected president better than, anyway. That's a lot of value. On the other hand, the cat in the toilet. But you know what, Benjamin? It depends on the perceived value.
Yep.
If the cat's making a mess all over the house, it'd be very valuable to me to get it to go in the toilet.
Yeah. And a cool thing about pricing is think of pricing as a little more elastic than the concrete. You can always, if people are not buying and you've got a really good product, try offering a different price. It doesn't have to be something that's set in stone. So never let price take up too much of your mental energy. Just pick something, go with it. And if you notice success, then you can always try to raise your price as you add more value to your course, and then go from there. So,
man, I love it. Have you noticed this, Benjamin, in your journey? Like what you just said, and we talked about it earlier. figuring out where to spend your energy, and worrying about something or thinking about something that's not solvable is not a place to spend your energy.
Yeah.
Have you recognized how that's become so important
Oh
lately?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, people, you know, when people first get started, and I myself, like, you're thinking like, how can I create the next Facebook? You know, and what I don't know, what I didn't realize at the time was that when Facebook started, it was completely different than it is today. You know, it didn't start as the Facebook it is today. It changed, it iterated, and, you know, Mark and his team, they've done all these, you know, great things. And it's the same thing with you. You know, whatever course that you make, it's you know, let's say you make a course next month, right? It's not. Hopefully, it won't be the same course that you're going to have 6 months from now, because you're going to improve it and change some things and see how students are getting results. And you know, it's the same thing with price too. So keep that in mind.
I love it. I love it. So I do have, you know what, now you think about it, now that we're talking about this so much, I've got 2 courses online right now that I'm really excited about, and that I know that help people a lot, but I'm just flat out not marketing them enough.
Mm.
I'm not putting them out there. So it's
Yeah.
interesting. I need to like revisit that and come at that from a different angle.
Yeah.
Love it.
For sure.
Everybody that's here, I appreciate you being here. I hope you got value. I'm going to look again at the questions. I don't see any new questions. Joe, Lisa, Ryan, it was awesome seeing you guys. If you're still on, I love this stuff. I don't know if I've told you about this. I don't know what technology you guys use for webinars, but it's like I've gotten input that far exceeded the number of people that were displayed. Like, I don't know how many people are actually on here using the technology I have. And there's people coming and going. It's like awesome. I love it. All right. Anyway, there will be a replay available for this for a while on this website. I just leave it up there, and then I'll promote it to a couple different places. So enjoy this as much as you want. 3 links below. If you're watching this on a replay, the Q&A link isn't going to work so good for you. You got to contact either Benjamin or me through email. Again, Benjamin's website link down below. There's a link there where you can get the 7-day free course. And in that website, I'm sure you can find how to contact him. Please mention that you bumped into him through this webinar or whatever, if you do that. Also, down below, there's another place for you to register for more training, the training that I'm giving to help empower entrepreneurs, to help empower you to get where you want to go. That's the next level, the next thing for you to do down below as well. Any closing words or remarks, Benjamin?
We're good.
Magic? Good.
Go make a course.
Yeah, go do it. Get it done. That's my thing. Get it done. That's, yeah. If a course is in you. If it's not, you hung out and had a good morning with us. Awesome. It was fun. I will be seeing you guys.